Renwick at home again. This is just a little exercise here that we like to do with the young and older horses. It just makes them have to use themselves a little bit more. It's a really good exercise. If people say to me, oh, my horse is being a bit lazy or a bit careless, it's just a good all-round exercise just to make them start using themselves again. Horses can get a little bit lackadaisical, it can become a bit monotonous, this game for them, I'm sure. But this just gets them to start using the thinking a little bit more about where their legs are, because they have to be very quick with their legs through here. You can raise the heights obviously accordingly. I wouldn't ever go very big because obviously it is just purely an exercise, but it's just for them just to start thinking a little bit more about where their legs are and just being a bit more respectful of what you're asking them to jump. So Phil's just going to go through now a few times, and we will raise it, and hopefully we will see the horse make a mistake, just so we can see then how he reacts to it, and just see that he's learning from it really. Just like stepping stones, and you can almost see how the horse then, even just by doing that, is tilting its pelvis a little bit more, which is what they sometimes start to go a bit flat, and as I say, just get a little bit lazy. This just encourages them to use that correct way of jumping, and obviously if they're going to have a little mistake, then they should learn from it. So now I'm just going to raise the middle one up a bit. I tend to leave the other ones lower so they can just step, and then you want to see them make a little bit more of an effort and a little bit more use of their body as they go through the middle part. In an exercise like this, the rider just really wants to just be a passenger. Just wants to present the horse in the right place at the start, then just wants to sit forward in the jumping position and just stay there. Just don't do anything, just allow the horse just to jump, as I say, without any restrictions at all. So really the horse is just making its own mistake rather than you causing it or forcing it or anything like that. So really, as long as you get them there, in the middle, as much in the middle, again, this is a good exercise for keeping horses to jump straight down the middle of a line. You know, horses will try and give themselves a little bit more room here and there and try and sneak left or right, but you've really got to try and hold them straight. That's really your only job. The rest of it is just getting them in there and then just letting them jump through it. I mean, now it's a little bit more of an effort for him, but again, you should see him just prop in front and just tip behind. That's the whole point of it. See? Nicely again. This, you know, he's really responding to it. I mean, I would just do this 2 or 3, 4 times each way. I wouldn't really go an awful lot bigger than that. You can, you know, it's entirely up to you, but I wouldn't want to force anything. All you're trying to do here is just to get the horse to use the correct, you know, muscles and just remember what it's doing really. I'll go up 2 more, you know, just to make it, because I mean this is an experienced horse, so he knows what he's doing. Again, with youngsters, you wouldn't want to do that at all. You're doing it for a different reason with youngsters. Get a little rub there, and you can make the distance slightly closer, little things like that, just to make it a little bit more difficult. A little bit more difficult for them. But again, it's just purely, I mean, if you see the horse is making a good effort, like what I'd say Phil's horse is doing, then you really wouldn't want to do it too much. You wouldn't want to force anything. But I mean, they could go through that, you know, and really not make any effort at all. But then hopefully the next time they'll come round and you'll actually notice a difference. If you increase it, it'll just make them dive a bit more. What we're trying to do is, we've got it just about on the perfect stride here. What I'd do, if anything, is decrease it, because then it'd make it even more difficult. As they jumped over the immediate prop, then they'd either, what that could then cause them to do is either really be quick in front and then land on it behind because they haven't given themselves enough room or not adjusted well enough, or they could just bosh it out in front, you know. So the smaller it is, the distance is more normal. As it goes higher, they'll make a bigger jump anyway, so then it'll make the distance seem that much shorter as well. You don't want to come in with any great speed, you know. It's all about sort of athleticism, nothing to do with, I mean, we can just make it a little bit more difficult. You just move it in a good fraction. Now it's a little bit bigger, so the whole thing, you can make it as difficult or as easy as you like, you know. It just depends on the horse. As I say, this is an experienced one. A young one, you just keep everything very simple, and you'd be using it more as an exercise to keep them straight. You almost want to just, see, they have to make quite a big effort there, but he's doing it really, really nicely. I mean, this is, as I say, it's purely just an exercise. It's not something I do every day. It's just something that, you know, people can use. As I say, I think it's nice with young horses, keep them small. I think it's great to jump bounces with them. Keeps them straight, keeps them focused. With the older horse, when you just want to get them just to think a little bit more, like I say, you can decrease the space between the jumps just to make it that much harder for them, just to make them work a little bit harder. You know, I think a lot of horses find the job quite easy, so you do sometimes want to make it a bit harder for them, to make them think a bit more and make them realise what they're doing. So really, it's just a really nice all-round exercise for young and old horses.